That was a brutal compliance meeting. In the first 6 months of our EHR implementation process, we have had, as I counted them, 6 substantial IT operations breakdowns.
If we don't get our act together, Emma will have our heads. We need to come up with a plan to get these situations under control.
We also need to find a way to prevent these problems from coming back over and over again. With the EHR coming online, our IT operations are going to become increasingly complex. It is vital that we succeed in making this transition effectively and maintain buy-in from all our clinicians.
I am especially worried about our information security and IT processes. It seems that a lot of these issues have been brought about by our people not sticking to the best practices that we have tried to establish. Also, if we do not improve our data security, sooner or later one of the potential HIPAA violations is going to turn out to be an actual HIPAA violation.
Yeah, and did you hear what our compliance officer said? Even if we are trying to prevent HIPAA violations, if a claim is brought against us, it could be $1,000 per violation. If somehow it is determined that we really haven't been paying attention to information security, the penalties can skyrocket up to a maximum of $1.5 million.
Another thing I'm a bit worried about after that compliance meeting is our compliance officer's ability to handle IT security issues. He currently serves as the lead on compliance, privacy, and information security. In the past, it seems he has done a fairly good job of ensuring the staff understands what PHI is and how to handle it, but I do not think he has the technical expertise to develop the processes necessary to maintain information security and handle the intricacies of electronic PHI.
Other organizations I have worked in have been larger and have had an individual for each of the compliance officer positions you mentioned. It may be time for you or I to take over the information security officer position. In the end, if one of those systems goes down or PHI accidentally leaks out through our IT systems, it is going to be seen as our error.
Well, let's look through each of those 6 problems and figure out what we are going to do about them. We do not have enough resources to implement the EHR and address all of our security concerns at once.
I agree, but we need to figure out what is most important to address first. Some of these issues are mainly technical fixes like changing permissions in the EHR, while others are affecting our clinical processes. Others may in fact be jeopardizing the whole EHR rollout.
There are commonalities among these problems, and I don't think we have been proactive enough in preventing problems. Instead, we have been reacting to problems as they come up. The only way I envision us succeeding is by creating a culture and system of processes that allow us to avoid the problems altogether. In my mind, there are data security, confidentiality, and privacy issues that we are not effectively addressing. What do you think, Sarah?
I agree to those, but in prioritizing these issues, I would also like to consider how they are affecting patient safety and the acceptance of the EHR by patients and the clinical staff at Moyen Santé. First, let's walk through the patient safety issues. While compliance and data security are important, I believe in this organization patient safety should be our top priority.
I agree with that, but do not have the clinical experience to identify which IT problems affect patient safety the most.
Well, the most pressing safety issue comes from the pharmacy. Inaccurate stop-loss orders and medicine records can create potential fatal outcomes.
It sounds like we should get a team together from pharmacy, the ICU, nursing, and IT to identify the root cause of these inaccuracies.
Next are the issues we have experienced with the clinical information in the EHR not matching the manual information. This has shown up in both the ER and labor and delivery units. If the data is incorrect, it creates a patient safety issue that has physicians acting on poor medical information, and it creates an issue of quality. We need to have a system that physicians can be confident in.
I understand what you are saying. We should create a small working group to perform a root cause analysis to give recommendations on how to fix the issue. I imagine it will be more difficult at this point to create confidence in the system, but we must do everything we can if we want this EHR implementation to be successful.
I agree. Building the confidence of the physicians will be an uphill battle. We could help build confidence by making quick improvements like updating the permission settings in the system to allow efficient access to patient information.
That sounds like a good place to start. We sure have a lot to do to try to improve the EHR.
There's another important problem that we need to address. It seems that we never considered how the EHR will function within the workflow of the various departments. Pediatrics is circumventing the EHR because it causes extra work for them and it prevents them from efficiently delivering patient care.
Understanding how the departments use the EHR is an important step that we didn't pay much attention to. Let's set up a meeting to discuss the needs of the people in the pediatrics department, to start. We could also have an IT representative shadow some of the nurses and physicians in the various departments to get a better idea about how they would use the system.
That sounds like a great idea. I will talk to the nurse manager and arrange for us to get a better idea about how the unit functions. It would help to have MHA there to show that the leaders of Moyant Santé are dedicated to making this work for the clinicians.
I agree. Let's get this scheduled as soon as possible. We should get a meeting on our calendars for 2 weeks from now to make sure that these improvements are well on their way.
Tracy, I'm glad I bumped into you. We have a meeting tomorrow to talk, but let me give you an idea of what that meeting is about. You may get a chance to bring some input from your colleagues.
Nice to meet you, Sarah. I see your name a lot, but we've never actually met. I'm new in the role of chief nurse and I'm struggling with the morale of my teams. I'm hopeful that this meeting isn't to add another new initiative.
On the contrary, Tracy, I think you will appreciate what Larry Bollinger and I have planned. We have been hearing that the RNs in pediatrics have had to develop workarounds since the documentation flow of the new EHR doesn't fit their needs.
That's right. None of the online forms are geared toward pediatrics and we have to write everything down in the rooms anyway since the computers are only at the RN station. They decided to go back to the old paper forms and then have them scanned into the record. That is causing a lot of rework, since the docs cannot find the information because medical records clerks scan them into various places in the record.
Yes, I'm sure you must see the potential for a very bad outcome. Our most vulnerable patients' safety is at risk. That is why we are proposing a rapid process improvement workshop involving members of the pediatric workgroup and the EHR development team. Your RNs and the support staff were not involved in the planning stages and I'm afraid that the staff don't know how to use the tools available to them. We'll start by having our EMR training team observe the workflow and interview the RNs. I'll need you to be thinking about an RN, pediatrician and support staff who can join you and our hospital quality IT experts in a day-long workshop at which workflows and training materials will be produced so that RNs from all shifts will feel well supported doing their jobs.
I don't know, Sarah. We were so busy and short-staffed. Can't this wait until vacations are over? Staff are really disenfranchised. They're ready to just put a sheet over the computers.
This work is an absolute priority. We realize that not all departments had the opportunity to hear from leadership on how important the EHR is to the success of the hospital and improving the quality of care we can deliver to our patients. MHA will be there to engage staff and instill how important their participation will be.
Wow, I can think of a few of the hard cases in the department that would attend just to give her a piece of their mind. Maybe I shouldn't choose them.
On the contrary, they are the ones who can make or break the success of this work. Once they see that we are serious about providing resources so that this work can be done right, they will be very effective spokespeople for the department. Emma is quite capable of taking difficult questions and she is aware that she needs to take the lead in gaining back trust.
Sounds promising. I'll start thinking about who best can represent the department. You might want to talk to Ricky and the ER. They too are really struggling with what feels like roadblocks in accessing patient information.
I'm already on it, Tracy. We needed to better align patient privacy rights with need-to-know medical information. We've added IT security to all work teams to make sure we have a good balance in all applications. The rush to get the EHR rolled out caused a few missteps. I'm quite confident that the admitting program go live will go much smoother given what we've learned.